Here's the pulsations of the heart.
I always wanted to be a father, but I never thought I would be the one that actually carried the child.
Oh my goodness.
I identify as transmasculine. I'm masculine all the way down to my core. I just happen to have the equipment to birth a child.
Yeah, Ikwan, it's Robo the Rebel back with another video. Today's video, My Pregnant Husband starring Deontay Wilder. But before we get to the video, even a smile is charity. So go ahead and give your brother Sadaka by like, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. So, former heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, he's in the trilogy fight with Tyson Fury on October 9th. And the clip that I started with is relevant. It actually is a show from TLC called My Pregnant Husband, and it follows trans men who were born as women and now identify as men or males, and follows them through their pregnancy up until they have childbirth. And the reason why this is relevant is because back in 2018, before their first fight, before Deontay Wilder's first fight with Tyson Fury, when he was the heavyweight champ, WBC heavyweight champ, he stated that he would like to experience the miracle of childbirth. And let's jump over into the article and take a look at this article here. So, Talksport.com shows that Deontay Wilder um, would love to experience the miracle of childbirth if scientists ever created a procedure to allow him to carry a child. Even though he called himself the baddest man on the planet, and he also referred to himself as Mother Goose, right? He said, I really do. I would say to my girl, let's have a baby and I'll carry it. I would love to experience what women go through to bring life into this world. And see, actually, men give life, women carry it. Yes, they bring life into the world, they carry the seed, but men, or they birth the child, men carry the seed. So, you were created for a purpose. Everyone was created for a purpose. And unfortunately, it's not a good look for Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight champion at the time, to state something that, lots of people are getting into, that they were born in the wrong body, you know. And the reason why this is coming up again, because of the fight this weekend where Deontay Wilder is fighting Tyson Fury. A lot of the race fans, and shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, who correctly defined what a race fan is. It's not a boxing fan. It's a fan of the race, mainly the white boxers, right? The white boxers in the United States, or excuse me, the white quote unquote boxing fans in the United States. They don't care about boxing. They only care about the white fighter. Meaning, if you're from the United States, you're usually going to root for the fighter from your country. That's how Mexicans do. That's how most people in the world do. You know, it was understandable for the Irish to come over here and support Conor McGregor when he fought Floyd Mayweather. But for the white American fans to go for the foreign boxer. They did the same thing with Manny Pacquiao. They've been doing the same thing every fight Deontay Wilder has with Tyson Fury. It's a million Tyson Fury fans, but no Deontay Wilder fans. So, and that's the same with black fighters, right? Or excuse me, black boxing fans. We're more likely going to go for the American fighter. If there's an American fighter and he's fighting against someone that's not from, the United States, excuse me, if he's fighting for someone black from not from the United States, we're most of the time going to go for the American fighter, unless it's the fighter that rocks with black Americans, and then we will support him. We don't just necessarily support him off of the strength of being black, not necessarily, right? But we have plenty of fighters. Most of the fighters that are boxers that are dominating. The fighters that are dominating boxing are black American fighters anyway. So we have plenty to root for, whether it's Terrence Crawford or um, uh, Earl Spence or Sean Porter, black American fighters. So we can choose with whoever we like. But that's how that goes. Anyway, let's keep going with the article. He said he would love to experience this. He calls himself Mother Goose, even though he was the baddest man on the planet at the time. He was a WBC heavyweight champ. He said that's why women are the most powerful thing on the earth. When when we've got people who bleed for 7 days every month, come on, man. They were created that way. That actually makes it a more of a weakness because you're losing all that blood for that amount of time. It produces mood swings. He doesn't even understand what he's saying, but it seems as if some of the things that he said, he came from the camp of the black woman is God, which is dangerous because it makes a lot of simps in our community. It doesn't make men who stand up as men, and it makes people who worship women. And I like Deontay Wilder, and I hope he wins this fight on October 9th. He said, but I really feel I'm the mother goose. I kiss my kids 6 or 7 times a day. They are all individuals. I love them. No problem there, brother. Kiss your kids, love them. But saying I'm the mother goose, come on, bro. You're not the mother goose. Like, I mean, he has that simp programming, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's dangerous because there's a lot of people who actually believe that men can have periods and have childbirth. I'm gonna play another clip that's gonna show you there's people who actually believe this stuff. They're academics. They're not unlearned people. He continued, I wish people could see this side of me more often. My world is amazing. I don't let certain things get to me, and I let people assume about me. I mean, brother, you could show that side of you if you want. Social media is here. They have the pre-fight 24/7, or inside boxing or whatever it's called, shows leading up to fights. You can show you spend time with your kids. But as long as I'm civilized, as he continues, but as long as I'm civilized and can balance between being a fighter and a father, then I'm fine. Not sure what that means, being civilized, because I just have no idea what that means. But yes, you can balance being a fighter and a father. You can turn that off. When you get in the ring, you're a warrior, a fighter. We get it. When you go home with your kids, you're father. You know, but that mother goose stuff. I wish brothers would get off of that. Hey, I'm mother goose and this, that, and the third. But I want to show you. I want to play this other clip here. This clip is it's a debate between, not necessarily debate, but they're on a podcast. They're on the podcast is Mark Lamont Hill and Candace Owens, and they're having a discussion, and the topic of transgenders comes up. So let's jump into that video here.
Doesn't mean you ignore biological realities.
But you just did that when you said that men could give birth.
So similarly, what I'm saying is that I'm not denying the biological reality of maleness, of the genitalia we're assigned at birth and what we can do with those body parts. I'm not denying that. That's a biological reality. Again, the social meaning I'm attaching to it is what I'm saying is more complicated.
But it's not complicated. Can men give birth?
Sometimes. That's my answer. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. So she asked him a direct question, and this guy said he wanted to say yes straight out. But then he said sometimes, and then he said, yes, that's my answer, right? So this guy actually believes this. I mean, look at this guy's face. This guy actually believes what he's saying, that men can give childbirth. I mean, and he's an academic. He's a PhD, right? I'm not sure if he still teaches at Morehouse, but this guy used to teach at Morehouse College. So if he's running around teaching young men this stuff, and this is what he believes, and this is he got fronted at some type of African Day celebration. The brother ran up on him and was saying, "Hey man, you're just a liberal shield. You're a Democratic shield. You're for the whites." And the brother really couldn't articulate what he was saying, because he said, "Well, where did I say this?" He said, and the brother said, "Oh, you said it," but he couldn't articulate where he said it. And it's like, Mark Lamont Hill, you know you said this. You know what you said with men and women. Women can give men can give childbirth. I mean, stop, guy. You know what you said here. Let's keep going.
And the answer that is crazy. And this is we cannot. It's just crazy. We cannot allow this to happen.
But you wouldn't say the definition of being a woman is the ability to give birth.
And I'm not saying it, but only women can give birth is a factually true statement. Only women can give birth. There's only one type of human being
only
that
people
can
with
give
uteruses
birth.
and vaginas
Yes,
and
can
stuff
give
can
birth.
give birth.
Only women can give birth.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Birth.
I'm not, and that here's what I think.
You see how he tried to be slick there? He said people with uteruses and she said only women. Gender is a fact. I mean, we're like, oh, it's a social construct. It's a social construct for a reason. Whenever you look up the definition of woman or man, woman is typically defined as an adult female. Man is typically defined as an adult male. Males and females have certain genitalia. They have certain biological things that make them different. So you can't just constantly say, hey, it's like I said, these guys are moving to the point to where, hey, there's no genders. There's no difference between the genders. Everything is a free for all. Women can have kids and periods. It's sickness. Let's keep going here.
We're talking past each other. What I'm saying is, I'm not disputing the fact that certain body parts yield certain kinds of possibilities, right? What I'm disagreeing with is the idea that is the measure of whether or not you're a man or a woman in society.
Okay, but it is now come to a point where if you say that only women can give birth, you are called a bigot. That is crazy. That's nuts. So if you say, like J.K. Rowling did when she got canceled by the Harry Potter cast, that only women can menstruate.
Stating facts are
can
now.
men get their period? Can you help my audience? Can men get their period?
Some can.
Okay.
Yeah, trans men. There's some trans men who can.
Look at this guy. I mean, this is just shameful. So I took some screenshots here of that show and some transgender men like this person here who was born female and now identifies as male. And the initial clip from My Pregnant Husband shows these two people here. And okay, so the person on the right with the suit on was born female, now identifies as male or transmasculine that they said in the clip. Person on the left was born male and identifies as female now. So this is the type of this is what we have out here. Here they go again, right? Male or born female on the left, born male on the right. This is going to be the one that has, yes, right here, same people, same couple. I'm just showing you different pictures of the couple. And here they are again. And then, so, Lil Nas X, so it's funny that Lil Nas X was doing this for promo, and he was trolling, and he was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne the God was the I shouldn't even call him Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne, right? He basically was had kid gloves on with that interview with Lil Nas X, but he came out like an attack dog against Boosie Badass, right? Boosie, formerly Lil Boosie or whatever. Anyway, so I watched both of those interviews, and he kept defending Lil Nas X by stating that, hey, this is nothing new. And there was a show back in the 80s, or a particular Cosby Show episode, to where Bill Cosby and Theo and his two son-in-laws, they all got pregnant. You know, they all got pregnant, and a volcano erupted. They got pregnant, and they gave birth to the different things that they like. Bill gave birth to a hoagie because he loved hoagies, and it was like giving him nightmares or whatever. So that's what he gave birth to. And that was part of it. And he's right. Charlemagne was right that yes, that there was an episode. But yeah, Bill Bill Cosby is in Hollywood, so he supports that agenda to a certain extent. I mean, running around doing some of the things that he was accused of doing, and that doesn't mean that they had the right to violate his rights and put him in jail, on charges that they actually couldn't prove without doing some nefarious things in court, violating his Fifth Amendment rights and so forth. They didn't have the right to do that. That's why he got out. So I have no problem with what, Bill Cosby getting out on that. It's not a technicality like a lot of people tried to say it was. But I don't want to digress too far off the point. But the point is that, so what? Bill Cosby did it. He's in Hollywood. You guys accept this. Charlemagne accepts this stuff. And this is the kind of, we're going to see more of this. And that's why I'm making a point that it wasn't a good look for Deontay Wilder to say that. And he might not have understood what he was saying, and just, he loves his kids that much. But you love them as who you are, their father, not as their mother. Men and women weren't created equal for a purpose. We were created each for our own purposes. If he was created to where he could birth children, he wouldn't have been the heavyweight champion of the world. That's just a fact. There's never going to be a woman that's going to be able to compete. Excuse me, for all the people someone who was born as a female to compete on that level and become heavyweight champion of the world. Right? So, it's not a good look for Deontay Wilder. I hope he wins the fight. And like I said, again, I like Deontay Wilder. But brothers, we have to get off this thing that the black woman is God, the black man is God. Obviously, I understand they don't mean literal God, so you shouldn't even use that statement. If you're not going to use the literal statement, black women are gods, because stop it. Those are my final thoughts, brothers. Again, we have to combat any forms of negative images to the black male image. The black American male image has been under attack, and we have to push back whenever we can. This is not a good look for Deontay Wilder to say this. And like I said, it's only coming up again because he has another fight coming, and the race fans love using anything like this to emasculate or to quote unquote digitally buck break black men. So it wasn't a good look. But again, hopefully Deontay Wilder will win this fight on October 9th. Assalamu alaikum.